That evening, I reached out to my trusted colleague, Kevin Albright, to process what was happening behind closed doors. Kevin did not hesitate to lay out the cold reality of our corporate hierarchy. He warned me that Vance had pulled this exact maneuver 2 years prior on another top producer, stripping their accounts, handing them to a favorite buddy, and then firing the victim for low volume. Vance was building a case to force me out. 2 weeks later, Vance summoned me to an unexpected virtual meeting with human resources sitting silently in the corner. He informed me that my employment was terminated effective immediately due to poor performance, offering a meager 2-week severance package. He sternly reminded me that my signed contract included a strict 2-year non-compete clause that blocked me from taking any enterprise software job in the country before disconnecting the line. 20 minutes after my screen went dark, a company-wide blast hit the inboxes of every employee in the firm, explicitly naming me. The email announced my immediate departure for performance failures and instructed all my remaining clients to direct their inquiries to Chad Miller. Vance was not just firing me, he was publicly ruining my professional reputation across the entire tech industry to protect his own ego and cover up his favoritism. The moment the shock wore off, I shifted into strategic action. First, I reached out to a prominent corporate attorney in Dallas named Douglas Vance to review my legal paperwork. Second, I picked up the phone and personally called Sarah Jenkins at Datasphere Systems. Sarah was shocked by the corporate email, expressing complete disbelief after our years of flawless collaboration. She admitted that Chad had already called her and sounded completely unqualified. Next, I opened my original employment agreement and read every single word of the legal covenants. Paragraph 7, Section 3 stated that the employee agreed not to engage in competing enterprise sales within California under Section 16600 of the California Business Code. I sat back in my desk chair and stared at the screen. I lived in Texas, had been hired in Texas, and conducted all my remote work out of a Texas home office. My legal counsel called me back 3 hours later with a clear and definitive assessment. Under Texas employment statutes and supported by California Section 16600, non-compete restrictions are virtually unenforceable for out-of-state remote employees when drafted incorrectly. The legal team at Veloci had lazily copied a standard California template for a Texas resident. The restrictive covenant Vance relied upon to lock me out of the industry was completely void. Douglas immediately drafted a formal legal notice to Veloci corporate headquarters detailing the invalidity of the non-compete clause. The letter explicitly warned management that any attempt to interfere with my career or contact my future employers would result in an immediate federal lawsuit for tortious interference. According to Kevin, when Vance received that letter the following morning, he launched into a screaming fit at the HR directors for drafting a defective contract. With my legal freedom fully secured, I reached out to Nexus Tech Solutions, the primary competitor of Veloci Enterprise Systems. Their regional vice president, Arthur Vance, had tried to recruit me twice over the past 18 months. Within 48 hours, I signed an executive contract offering a 20% higher base salary, vastly superior commission rates, and full autonomy over the regional market. I started my new role the following Monday. My first official task at Nexus was contacting Sarah Jenkins at Datasphere Systems to present our enterprise solutions. Sarah informed me that Chad had already managed to mess up their account setup, failing to respond to critical support tickets for days. When I presented our upgraded technical features at a competitive price point, Sarah did not hesitate. Datasphere officially terminated their contract with Veloci and signed a $3 million annual agreement with my new firm. Over the next 8 weeks, I systematically reconnected with the 3 other major accounts Vance had reassigned to Chad. The story was identical across every account. Chad was incompetent, unresponsive, and clueless. Wilson Logistics transferred their $2.5 million account to Nexus. Henderson Financial shifted their $3.2 million portfolio. Riverside Media moved their $3.8 million contract over to my care within 60 days. By the end of the quarter, I had legally transferred $12.5 million in annual enterprise revenue away from Veloci and directly into Nexus. Vance discovered the massive financial bleed when his quarterly audit revealed a catastrophic collapse in regional accounts. Kevin messaged me to report that emergency board meetings were being called daily, with executive board members demanding answers from Vance regarding the sudden exodus of major clients. The corporate fallout at Veloce accelerated rapidly over the following month. Chad Miller was summarily terminated after missing his quarterly quota targets by over 60%. When the executive board investigated how $12 million in recurring business walked out the door, they uncovered Vance's deliberate scheme to strip accounts from a top performer. The board stripped Vance of his VP title, demoted him to a local manager, and cut his pay in half. 4 months after my departure, I received an unexpected message on my professional network from Vance Sterling himself. The man who had publicly disgraced me, sabotaged my accounts, and attempted to destroy my livelihood was now politely asking if I could refer him for an open managerial position at Nexus. I typed out a quick, polite response stating that our corporate culture prioritizes high integrity and factual performance assessments, wishing him luck before blocking his account. 1 year later, I am thriving as the regional director of sales at Nexus Tech Solutions, leading a high-performing team of 9 enterprise executives across the state. My personal income has more than doubled, and Kevin Albright has joined my department as a principal account manager. Vance remains stuck at Veloci in a low-level managerial role, his executive career permanently derailed by his own arrogance. Ultimately, Vance attempted to use a legal contract as a weapon to destroy my career, but his own carelessness turned it into the key that unlocked my freedom. He wanted to humiliate me publicly, but his unfair actions only proved to my clients where real leadership resided. When you focus on building genuine trust and delivering excellence, corporate politics will never overpower true competence, and justice always finds its way back around.